Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. Um, I found some videos on YouTube the other day that I thought was interesting, and I, as far as I can tell, they have the entire series on YouTube. You can watch it for free, and it's a good series. Um, for those of you who don't know, back in 1986, the movie came out called Highlander. It was low budget. The people in it weren't real well. I guess some of them were really well known. It starred Christopher Lambert, Sean Connery, and Clancy Brown, and they have become three of my favorite actors. Uh, it's a movie called Highlander, and the premise is that there are immortals in the world, and they face off and they fight each other, and one of them chops off the other one's head, and all the power in the defeated immortal goes to the winner, and eventually all the power will culminate in one immortal who will then gain what's called the prize, which we don't really know until much later in sequels, which turn out to be crappy sequels. But the point I'm getting at is, in the original movie, it was pretty good. Um, the main character in that movie was named Connor MacLeod, and the music in it was really good. It's all done by, or at least the bulk of it was done by Queen. Freddie Mercury. Nobody can belt out a song like him. Nobody could, and still can't, as far as I know. There was something about the shape of his mouth, and he could hit notes nobody else could. That's my understanding of it. And oh boy, the man could sing. I don't care what his personal life was. That man could sing. Holy crap, he was good. The main title song is Princes of the Universe, and it's really good. If you've not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. This particular video, however, is about Highlander, the TV series. It ran for 7 seasons from 1992 to 1998. It starred Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod, a younger cousin of Connor MacLeod. And the stars had a lot of good stars in it. It had Alexandra Vandernoot, Elizabeth Grayson, Stan Kirsch, Amanda Weiss, Philip Aiken, Lisa Howard, Jim Burns, Michel Modo, who's a French actor, Peter Wingfield. Really good actors. A lot of them are kind of no-name actors, but really good ones. Really good ones. A lot of good guest stars, too. The guest stars are what made the show. Okay. Ron Perlman, Roddy Piper, and most of these people guest starred as immortals that ended up being defeated. But Ron Perlman, Roddy Piper, Tim Reed. He didn't play an immortal. He played a cop. And for those of you who don't know, he's from WKRP. Venus Flytrap. It was the character. Yeah, same guy. Jason Isaacs, big name actor there. Jonathan Banks, Nigel Terry, Laurie Holden, Werner Stocker, Roger Daltrey from The Who. He played a character named Fitzkern, a recurring character, an immortal. Alexis Denisov from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Peter Guinness, he's in it. Sheena Easton, Richard Mall, Mark Singer from The Beastmaster, J.G. Hertzler from Star Trek, Joan Jett, Nia Peoples. Anyway, Randall Tex Cobb, he played a vicious immortal. Ray Don Chong, Doug Ray Scott, Tracy Lords, the ex-porn star turned actress, Dawn S. Davis from Stargate, Vanity, Peter Wilson, Joe Pantoliano, Peter DeLuise, Wes Studi, Anthony Stewart Head from Buffy fame, Eric McCormick. I mean, a lot of big name guest stars and really good actors, all of them. There wasn't a bad one in the bunch. My favorite, I'm gonna tell you about my favorite characters here in a minute, but this TV series went for 7 seasons, and the whole premise again is he has to face these other immortals and he fights them and blah, blah, blah. Well, some of my favorite characters here are Richie Ryan, played by Stan Kirsch. He was a young kid that came in to live with the immortal Duncan MacLeod, and later on you find out he's going to be an immortal, because that's what happens. You don't know you're an immortal until you die a violent death, either through an accident or You know, if you die in natural causes, apparently you don't become an immortal. But, you know, and we don't know what causes them to be immortals. It's a mystery. However, this kid turned out to be an immortal, and Duncan MacLeod had to train him how to use a sword and this and that. Another one was Mythos, my absolute favorite character as far as immortals goes. Peter Wingfield. This immortal. Check this out. Listen to how developed this character is. He's 5,000 years old at least. He's so old he doesn't know how old he is. Okay, he survived this long by avoiding fighting. He runs, he hides, you know, whatever. He can fight if he has to, but if you're going to live that long, you don't challenge every immortal that comes along. You run and hide, because eventually you're going to have a bad day. This is the way Peter Wingfield put it, and that's how he played the character, and he did it well. One of my other favorite characters, Carl Robinson. It was played by actor Bruce A. Young. Carl Robinson, the character development on this guy was brilliant. He was a slave in the Old South. In 1859, he died and became immortal. He was found and trained, and now he's kind of a militant black person in modern day. And he's got a master's degree from Howard University, and he's got a fastball that you can't nobody see. He's a really good pitcher. One of the storylines was he finally signed a contract to pitch in the major leagues, millions of dollars. And then he has to face another immortal, and somebody sees him, you know, the immortal's dead, and he's standing over him with a sword, and all of it gets ruined. It would be disheartening for anybody, you know. And he played it well. This Bruce A. Young is a brilliant actor. I wish I could find other stuff he's in, because he's really, really good. Joe Dawson is they have a group that watches the immortals, but they don't interfere. At least they're not supposed to. And Joe Dawson is a watcher. He's the watcher that's assigned to watch Duncan MacLeod. This guy has bad legs because of he was in Vietnam and stepped on a landmine. So, and he's a musician. He plays jazz. He's really good. Really great character. Kenny. Kenny is an interesting character. Kenny was a little kid. He was like 12, and he became immortal. And his thing is to sneak up on them, and you know, because he pretends to be all innocent and helpless and everything, and then of course the immortal feels sorry and brings him in. And next thing you know, when their back is turned, Kenny whacks them and takes their head. Well, turns out he's 800 years old, 600 to 800 years old or whatever. He's been doing it a long time. And this actor, this child actor, was so good. He played that little kid immortal so well. The little dude looked evil. I'm going to tell you, you got to see it. It was brilliant. Collis was a recurring character played by David Robb. Collis was a monk who they had a respite because they can't attack each other on holy ground. So this guy would hide on holy ground and pretend to be their friend. And as they're leaving, he would catch him. And, you know. Xavier St. Cloud was another of my favorites. He had a flair for the dramatic and a flair for expensive tastes. He couldn't just get a meal. He had to have caviar. He couldn't get a wine. He had to have the specific, you know, the best wine possible, that kind of thing. And he would kill with gas and then go in and take their head, you know, that kind of thing. Bombs, that kind of thing. Now, the actor who played him is Roland Gift from the Fine Young Cannibals. Honestly, I didn't think much of him. I actually hadn't heard much of him until I saw him in this role, and then I checked him out. The man can sing too. He's good. Can't argue with that. Anyway, this is shot on locations: Paris, France, Vancouver, British Columbia, and you know, it's really good. If you get the opportunity, this is well worth it. The reason I'm doing this particular video, I loved the series when it was on. My wife bought it for me. I have the whole thing on DVD, but you can see it for free on YouTube. But the reason I brought this up was we had some bad news. It's a sad note. I hate to end this video on a sad note, but the actor Stan Kirsch, who played Richie Ryan in the series, he recently died. Apparently his demons finally got the better of him, and he committed suicide. it's a sad note. I'm sorry, because he was a really good actor. I liked him. I had no qualms with anything he did. He was prayers for him and his family, and we really hope he finds peace. Get the chance, check it out. He's a really good actor. Everybody involved with this was good. There wasn't anything bad about it. I do highly recommend that you find the movie Highlander first. You might be able to see it on YouTube as well. The original movies from 1986, and there's some others after it. Highlander 2, I don't recommend. It wasn't very good, but the other ones after that are okay. But the series is really good. Check that out, and see if you can find Stan Kirsch in there. He's in just about every episode. He's in every season. I can't say he's in every episode, but he's in every season. And what's nice about that is you get to see his character, his immortal, as an immortal, progress from finding out he's from being an ignorant young punk kid to finding out he's immortal, and his progression as an immortal. At any rate, check it out. I think you'll like it. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.